Hello, and welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne, and this is my weekly Wonderings and Wanderings. And I apologize because this video looks not great. So that was not exactly the ideal intro video, but whatever. It is Tuesday night, and I'm just now getting this weekly vlog started. The week is almost halfway done. But I finished reading As You Like It a day or two ago, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite Shakespeare that I've read. It was kind of meh, but it was fine. Like, I enjoyed it. One thing is that I didn't read it with any help at all. Like, I just read it straight through. I didn't have any annotations. It wasn't like a Folger Shakespeare version. It wasn't a No Fear version. It was just straight through. So I think I probably missed some things, some context that would have made it more interesting and given me a better understanding of it. But I kind of just wanted to read it straight through and get that experience. So may or may not have been the right choice, but now I am listening to podcasts, and I will try to link to it below if you are interested in listening to them yourself. From the Close Reads podcast, I'm listening to their discussions about the play, and each episode is about an hour, and it talks about one act. So, and then I think there's a bonus wrap episode. So I finished listening to the episodes about the first two acts, and it's really interesting. It definitely has given me some more understanding about some of the things that were happening in the play and what Shakespeare was trying to say through it. In particular, I found it interesting that they talked a lot about, so this has a lot of pastoral elements to it, this particular play does. And so this podcast, they talk a lot about the green world versus the city or the court life. And there's a lot of contrast and comparison with that. And the green world is seen as more healing, whereas the court life is seen as more detrimental or, life-sucking kind of thing. City versus country sort of thing. So that's interesting. And that added a layer of understanding to the play for sure. There were some other elements that I found interesting. There's a lot of discussion about the character of Jacques, whose name they pronounce very differently, but I'm just going to say Jacques because I feel like saying Jacques. And I thought it was fascinating how they talked about his character was pretty stagnant. And in fact, many scholars consider him a failed character because he has no development, and it seems like he serves no purpose except to be melancholy and depressing all the time. And so there's a lot of discussion about that on the podcast as well, which I found interesting. So it's given me a little bit more context and appreciation for the play itself. Apparently, As You Like It is considered one of maybe Shakespeare's best comedy. That was not my thought. I would agree with one of the podcasters, Heidi White, who said that she prefers Twelfth Night, and I would agree with that. Twelfth Night is definitely, I really liked Twelfth Night. I read that a couple years ago, and I thought that was a really interesting one. But I may have to give As You Like another try sometime and maybe read it with more understanding and see if I appreciate it better. But as it wasn't my favorite Shakespeare play, but I'm glad I read it. And yeah, I continue to read Shakespeare's plays. I need to read all of them eventually. And now I am just about to pick this up, The Lady with the Dark Hair. This is my final must read for the month of September. We'll see if I'm able to squeeze anything else in. I am probably about a third of the way or so through Persuasion, so I need to pick up the speed on that one as well. But I'm just kind of enjoying the slower pace of it. But I do just kind of like savoring it a little bit every day, and I'm kind of really liking that. But at the same time, for October, I need to read The Mysteries of Udolpho, which I think is kind of a long book. So, which, by the way, I need to pick up from the library. I need to do that tomorrow. Anyway, which is long, I think. So I don't want to be reading Persuasion too much into October because I need to have time to read The Mysteries of Udolpho. Anyway, so I am interested and excited about picking up The Lady with the Dark Hair. it has been on my TBR before, and so I'm really happy to actually get to it, and I just love that beautiful cover. It goes with the framed Readathon because it is about art, and it also fits something else. I forget what. There's another reason I picked this one. I don't know, but anyways, it fits some different things for the month of September, reading challenges, whatever. Oh, I think travel. Yes, for Chantel Read Yourself Challenge. It also fits the travel theme because she travels with her uncle, I think. No, just some person. She pretends to be his sister. Okay. Anyway, she travels with them. Anyway, so looking forward to that. And I will check in with you hopefully tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday afternoon, and I had some free time to myself because my son is in mock trial, an afternoon club, and so I'm waiting for him. And in the meantime, I ran some errands, boring, grabbed some coffee, not so boring, and I went to the library, definitely not boring. So I have a little library haul to show you. First of all, in the book sale section, the last time I was there, I saw this in the book sale, The Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd. And this particular library, you pay for the books by credit card, which I think is the strangest thing ever because they're all like $1 or 50 cents. And so that's silly. But also, they don't have any way to accept like cash or whatever. And they also don't have like PayPal or Venmo options. Like most of the other libraries in the area, like they'll have a QR code or something that you can go and you can pay like virtually. So their computer was broken down with a credit card last time, and so I couldn't pay for it, and there weren't any other options, so I couldn't buy it the last time, but it was still there. And that is The Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd. I had put this one on Hoopla, so the digital library. I had put it on there a while back. I had saved it as a favorite because it just really intrigued me and I really wanted to read it. Also, I think that cover is really beautiful. I don't know too much about it. I think it's based on a true story. It's based on a real person, I want to say. It's historical fiction set in 1739. Well, that's when the story begins. So 18th century South Carolina, an indigo plantation. And I just really want to read it. I don't need any more historical fiction on my TBR, but here we are. And then I had requested The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe because that is our plan to read in the month of October for the Jane Austen 250th birthday celebration. And I want to read this one. I'm a little bit daunted by the size of this baby. It is 670 some pages, and that is a lot for me. I've not been like reading very quickly anything lately, so that's going to be interesting, but we're going to give it a go. So that is for October, and so I've got that picked up. And then I was just browsing and I saw the coolest book. I love this. I may need to get one for myself. So this is Literary Journeys, Mapping Fictional Travels Across the World of Literature. So down here you can see Chaucer's Pilgrimage, Ishmael's Quest in the Ocean, Dracula's Transylvania, Phileas Fogg's Circumnavigation. So they talk about all of these books and more that have these grand journeys in them, and it maps them across the world, and it also has some just really some lovely artwork as well. Oh, here's one. With Victober coming up, this is a good one to mention. Three Men in a Boat, which was written in 1889, and that's on page 74. So that is literally a travel, some group of men who travel down the River Thames on a pleasure excursion. So they just travel together, and apparently it was a thing that was done. And so it just has a 2-page spread about that trip and information about the book and the place, and some factual information as well as information about the story. Let's see another one. Oh, Dracula, that's fun. Another Victorian book. That's page 78. So, and there you have that lovely portrait there. Here is a map of Transylvania, presumably at the time the book was set. This one has more information, and then it has more pages about it. And then there's this painting here. So look at the artwork in there and the information, quotes from the book. This is just really cool. There's a chapter about the Pilgrim's Progress. Some other books, I'll just throw out a few. There's a ton in here. I'm not gonna read all of them, but The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner, Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm not sure exactly how to say his name. Even like more modern books like The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. And then it has contemporary classics, which probably a lot of those I haven't read. But oh, The Road is on there. I've read that. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Anyway, so that's just really cool. If you like travel and books like I do, it's just like a great combination of the two. So fun. As for actual reading, I don't have anything new to add since yesterday. I did start reading The Girl with Dark Hair. It's very interesting. Got off to an interesting start. And, but I didn't go super far, to like 25 pages or something. So I don't have much to report on that front. I'm almost finished listening to the podcast about As You Like It, and really enjoying the discussion there and the information. It's helping me to understand what was happening in the play a lot better. So it's given me a lot more context. So I have been enjoying that, but I'm almost finished with those episodes. I have some part of the 5th act left. And continuing with Pride and Prejudice, I did read the part that I was reading today. It just really struck me. Something really struck me. And I kind of went on about it at length in my Discord server, but I'll just say here as well. So I was really struck by how Jane Austen delves into the deeper emotions that a person experiences in otherwise seemingly innocuous situations. And by that, I mean, it's not big dramatic episodes. Austen does not write big dramatic, I mean, she has a few high drama kind of scenes, like I think of Lizzie and Lady Catherine de Bourgh and their face off in the garden. But even that is a sort of face off sort of thing that could happen in real life between two people, like a confrontation. She doesn't do any like big dramatic scenarios that are larger than life. They're always from life. And she really is able to portray the depth of emotions that the characters are feeling in this seemingly mundane situation. For example, what I'm talking about is the scene where Anne, the heroine of Persuasion, is tending to her nephew who is, he's been injured, and so he's having like a rough day with his injury or whatever, so she's taking care of him. And a younger nephew who's like toddler age just comes in and starts roughhousing. Well, first of all, the whole scene, the stage gets set when, you know, Anne is tending the first nephew, the older nephew, and Captain Wentworth, her erstwhile fiance, comes in and is extremely awkward. Neither one was expecting to see the other, especially essentially alone with only a small child as a buffer. And they don't know what to say to each other. Captain Wentworth is staring out the window. We don't 100% know what he's thinking, but we have an idea because Jane Austen has been dropping hints. We think he's probably has some regrets, has a little bit of resentment, has a little bit of bitterness, and definitely hurt 100%. And so he's not really sure how to interact safely with Anne at this point. He still sees many things in her that he admires and appreciates, but he feels like that door is closed. So he's thinking all of these things. She doesn't spell that out, but you know that because of what she does say and what has already been said. And then you have Anne, who we do know what she's feeling. She's nervous. She's unsure of herself. She doesn't know what to say to him. She also feels like that door has been closed, but she wishes it hadn't been closed. She definitely still has very, very strong feelings for Captain Wentworth. She knows him very well. And she, you know, there's a strong connection to him, but they don't have the easy familiarity of their former relationship. So it's awkward, but it's very wearing on her. It's very stressful to be in this situation because she doesn't know what to say to him. And so there's already that. Then in comes the toddler nephew, and he's like horsing around and he's climbing all over Anne, and he's being a general pain in the butt, as little toddler boys can occasionally be. She keeps trying to get him to stop. Another fellow comes in who adds another element of the tension in the room. So there's like heightened awkwardness and tension here. They kind of half-heartedly say things to this little nephew to get him to stop. He's not stopping. And finally, Captain Wentworth just picks him up, removes him from his aunt, and says to him something, you know, firmly but gently, like, you shouldn't behave like that with your aunt. Like, be more respectful, or whatever, however he puts it. And we feel everything that Anne is feeling. Now, here is the hero rescuing her from something. He's not slaying a dragon. He's not fighting a mortal enemy. He's not risking his life for her. He's just being a true gentleman in every sense of the word. He's noticed a need that she has, and he steps in quietly, takes care of it, and doesn't dwell on it at all, just moves on. And Anne is very moved by this, so much so that the first opportunity she has, she leaves so that she can, you know, collect herself and regain her bearings and her, you know, emotional stability, her equilibrium, so that she can be able to interact at a normal social level with what is now a crowd in the drawing room. It's a very simple, homey setting. It's a very simple situation. It's just one tiny little action, but the intensity of the emotions that the characters involved are feeling are very real. And so Austen she's taking the things that we experience in our daily lives, things that we actually can understand with, we can identify because we've lived through similar things, because it's not like a big something or other that would have to be outside of our normal everyday lived experience to understand and to really feel it. It's something that we could all relate to because it's such a daily life sort of thing. It's such a quick snapshot of a real episode in a real person's day, or could be. You know, it's not a real person. Didn't really happen, but it could be. It's so real. So that's what I love about Jane Austen, like her ability to look deeply into the subtleties of human emotion in the middle of the mundane daily life that's not actually mundane. Like some things are mundane, you know, making lunch for the next day, that's mundane. But those interactions that we have with other people that we sit and ponder over for days on end, even if other people didn't notice the interaction, they didn't think twice about it, it just on the surface was very normal, life running along, you know, like clockwork, just people talking to each other, just normal things happening, nothing significant. But we have those interactions with other people that are of great significance to us, that we do ponder, that do make us feel very deeply, even if on the surface it seems like nothing big happened here. And I love how Austen is able to really just show that and write it so beautifully. And it's just another lovely link in the chain of Anne and Frederick's story as she's slowly drawing them again together, closer and closer and closer, and regaining the relationship that they had previously lost. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. And I am really enjoying reading Persuasion, just kind of soaking it in as I read through. And also, I love how there's a lot of conversation about autumn and stuff, particularly in the section of the book where I am right now. And it's just perfect for this time of year because it's very autumnal here. My favorite word. But it is very much like that right now, and it's perfectly fitting for that. So that's my reading right now, and I will sign off for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello. It is a Friday evening, and I thought that, let's see, it's 5:30, almost 5:30. The late afternoon sun is coming through this window, and I thought that was supposed to be like the perfect kind of lighting, you know, for photography and stuff, videos, whatever. But no, it's really getting in the way of my videoing here. So sorry. I was trying to find a good place where there wasn't like, you know, total washed out lighting from the sun coming through the window. The weird thing is, I mean, it's kind of cloud. It's not like bright sun. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so it's Friday evening. I came home from work, ran to the store to pick up some food to celebrate my son's birthday tomorrow. And then now I am going to go to a ladies' conference at my church. It's tonight and tomorrow. So I am taking these few minutes in between to wrap up this vlog, although it has admittedly not been a very exciting or interesting one. So I apologize for that. You know, some weeks are exciting and lots going on, and other weeks are really just kind of mundane, and this was one of those. In fact, this is probably the most interesting thing happening in my life right now, and that is that I made myself cold foam for the first time, and the cold foam actually turned out really well, but the coffee part I didn't do so great on. It was like a sequence of domino effect errors that happened, so it's not amazing, but you know, it's fine. I am about 75 pages through The Lady with the Dark Hair by Erin Bartels, and it's fine. And it's interesting. I'm interested in both timelines and what's going to be happening with these characters. I'm getting some hints as to some of what the conclusion of the story might be, but I'm not really sure. In the modern timeline, there is an age difference, a significant age difference, and what I'm imagining will be a couple eventually. They're not at the moment, but it seems like that's what we're working towards. But I'm a little confused about that because I think the girl, well, the woman, I think she's in her 40s now, and she meets back up with a former professor of hers. So it's been 20 years since she's been in college. I think if I'm getting the ages right. It's been 20 years since she's been in college, and he had to have been, I don't know, is he like in his 60s now or something? And she's in her 40s? Oh no, that's a little weird. I'm trying to figure out those ages and how that can possibly work. So I'm not really sure about that. But in other parts of the story, I'm like, where are we going with this? This could be very interesting. Anyway, it is interesting, and I want to read it to finish it, but it's one of those I'm kind of like holding judgment because I'm liking it, and it could go to a point where I really, really love it, and it could go to a point where I'm like, it's fine, but it's not for me. We'll see. Either way, And still reading and loving Persuasion. Just haven't had much time to really sit with it. So I've just been like savoring small moments of it, which is enjoyable because it's actually a really delightful way to read that. But I'm also kind of feeling the pressure of I need to read it because I have another book lined up after that that I need to get started. So anyway, but I am still just enjoying every time I pick it up. Just really loving spending time with those characters and with Jane Austen. But that is all I have to report. I haven't started anything new. I doubt I will have time to pick up anything else between now and the end of September. Today is the 26th. We have until next Wednesday, so maybe, but I doubt it because once I finish The Lady with the Dark Hair, I'm going to make finishing Persuasion be my focus, and we'll see. We'll see if I have time to read something else, fit something else into the end of September, or maybe I just get started on my October TBR. I don't know. We'll see, because there's some books on there I really want to read. But that has been my very non-eventful week. And now I'm going to head out. And that's it for now. I will see you next week. I hope you have a great week. Let me know in your comments how your week has gone in reading and in life. And what books you are enjoying right now, or maybe not so much enjoying. And I will see you next time.